Hello everybody, this is Mr. Combs, and in this video I want to talk about writing effective paragraphs and practice some tasks together. So in this first task, I'm going to ask you to consider the sentences below, and so I'm going to show you two groups of sentences. Each group could be developed into a paragraph. And I want to see if we can determine which one of the sentences is the topic sentence. And remember to ask yourself which is a general statement supported by the details from the other sentences. So let's look at the first group of sentences. The last time I ate at the diner, I got food poisoning and was sick for 2 days. The city inspector found roaches and mice in the diner's kitchen. Our town diner is a health hazard and ought to be closed down. The toilets in the diner often back up, and the sinks have only a trickle of water. So which one of these is the more general statement that can be backed up by the other statements? I think that it's C. Our town diner, is a health hazard and ought to be closed down. So I think that's the more general statement. The town's diner is the topic. The controlling idea is it needs to be shut down. It's a health hazard. And then each of the other sentences in that group are proof that the town diner needs to be shut down. I got food poisoning, there's mice and roaches, and the toilets are backed up and the sinks only have a trickle of water. All right, let's look at the next one. In early colleges, students were mostly white males. Colleges of 2 centuries ago were quite different from today's schools. All students in early colleges had to take the same courses, and the entire student body at early schools consisted of only a few dozen people. So I think that the topic sentence is B here. Colleges of 2 centuries ago were quite different from today's schools. So colleges from centuries ago, topic is the topic, and they're quite different from today's schools is the controlling idea. And then the other 3 sentences work to prove that that's true. In early colleges, students were mostly white males. That's different from today. Students are all different races, all different genders. All students in early colleges had to take the same courses. Nowadays, students can take a variety of courses, and the entire student body at early schools consisted of only a few dozen people. You know, there are schools that have thousands of students now. So the colleges of 2 centuries ago are quite different from today's schools. All right, so in the next set of tasks, I'm going to give you a group of sentences, and I would like for you to write an appropriate topic sentence that is supported by the details provided. So let's look at the first one. So here are the details. We brought a welcome to the neighborhood present. The family next door didn't even say thank you. When we brought a welcome to the neighborhood present, the family next door didn't even say thank you. The family never attends the annual block party. The family's children aren't allowed to play with other neighborhood kids. And our neighbors keep their curtains closed and never sit out in their yard. So what might be a good topic sentence for this paragraph, or for a paragraph with these supporting details? So you might have worded your topic sentence differently, but I'm thinking that the topic sentence might be, the new neighbors do not fit in to the neighborhood very well. So the new neighbors do not fit in very well in the neighborhood, something like that. All right, let's look at another one. So the new family next door does not fit into the neighborhood very well is the topic sentence that I chose. So now let's look at another one. We had to wait over an hour even though we had reserved a table. Our appetizer and main course arrived at the same time. The server ignored our requests for more water. The wrong desserts were served to us. So you might have said this a little bit differently, but I said the new restaurant in town is not managed very well. And in fact, I just assumed it was a new restaurant. The supporting details didn't say that it was a new restaurant, so you might just have said, we went to a restaurant last night that was not managed very well. Notice that I said not managed very well because nothing in the supporting details talked about the food or the quality of the food. So we can assume maybe that the problem was not the food quality, but the management. We had to wait over an hour. Our appetizer and main course arrived together. The desserts were wrong. The server ignored us. So that all speaks to the management. So notice how that is a specific topic and controlling idea. Not just that the restaurant was bad, but all of those supporting details point to the fact that the restaurant is not managed well. All right, so I want to also talk about unity. So in the paragraphs below, each topic sentence is followed by 5 sentences, some of which are not relevant. So I would like for us to determine which sentences should be eliminated to keep the paragraph unified. So let's look at this first paragraph. And I'm going to use a pen so I can cross out details we do not need. I'd rather rent a movie and watch it at home than go to the theater. Some really spectacular movies are worth seeing on the big theater screen. At home, I can wear my pajamas and cuddle up with a blanket. People in theaters are often noisy and distracting. I like to be able to pause the movie if I want a bathroom or snack break. Video stores are rare these days, as most people can get movies directly on their TVs. So the topic sentence is, I'd rather rent a movie and watch it at home than go to the theater. So which of these details are not relevant to that topic sentence? Which details do not back up that topic sentence? Some really spectacular movies are worth seeing on the big theater screen. Well, the topic sentence is, I'd rather rent a movie and watch it at home than go to the theater. And then the very next sentence says, well, some movies are worth being watched in the theater. That goes against my thesis. So while that may be a true statement, it goes against my topic sentence. So I'm going to get rid of that right away. Well, I'm going to try to cross these out with my mouse. Okay. At home, I can wear pajamas and cuddle up with a blanket. That is a good reason why I'd rather watch movies at home. People in theaters are often noisy and distracting. That's another good reason why I'd rather watch movies at home. I'd like to be able to pause the movie. That's another good reason. But then I have video stores are rare these days, as most people can get movies directly on their TVs. Well, that's true. However, that really doesn't work to prove the topic sentence. So I'm going to get rid of that one as well. All right, let's look at another paragraph. There are advantages to taking online courses rather than attending classes on campus. Parents with small children don't need to hire a babysitter if they access an online course at home. Students who take online courses aren't able to interact socially with other students. Because there is no commuting to online courses, students can save time and gas money by learning at home. Students who take online courses need to be extra careful not to fall behind on assignment deadlines. And in general, degrees from traditional colleges and universities are still more respected than degrees from online schools. All right, so there are the advantages of taking online courses is the topic and controlling idea. So online courses, and that there are advantages to taking them. Online course is the topic, advantages to taking them is the controlling idea. Parents with small children don't need to hire a babysitter. That's good, it's an advantage. Students who take online courses aren't able to interact socially with other students. That is not an advantage, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that because that doesn't work to prove our topic sentence. There's no commuting. Students can save time and gas. That's definitely an advantage. And students who take online courses need to be extra careful not to fall behind on assignment deadlines. That's true, but that's not really an advantage. So I'm going to get rid of that sentence, and I'm also going to get rid of the last one. Because in general, degrees from traditional colleges and universities are still more respected than degrees from online schools. That's not an advantage, right? You're not talking about an advantage of learning online. That might be a disadvantage, so I'm going to get rid of that too. And now these paragraphs are unified. All right, so here's a list of references that I used when creating the lesson on writing effective paragraphs. I hope you found this video helpful, and I will see you in the next video.